Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a trip review where we're going to be flying from Chicago O'Hare over to Haneda in Japan on ANA in first class. This is going to be a 13.5-hour flight, so I'm going to be able to get the full experience of ANA first class. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with ANA is one of the top airlines in the world. It is out of Japan and they pride themselves on having excellent service and an experience. Just a few years ago, they released their newest products, being the room for their business class and then the suites for their first class. Now, the newer products being the suite and the room, you only get them on consistent routes from New York and London. And then the other ones, you would get the older product, which is still really good, but it's clearly inferior to the newer product. But on occasion, what ends up happening is that some of these other destinations that the ANA is flying their business and first class products out of, they will do a product swap and you will actually be able to access the room or the suite, even though it isn't something that they consistently have for that route. So that's fortunately what's happened to me here. I did book from Chicago over to Haneda on the older product, but then a few weeks ago I got a product change, so now I'm going to be flying on the suites in first class over to Haneda. So yeah, sometimes you can get lucky. You know, even if I had the other product, I still would have been happy, but I am very thankful to be able to try out this newer product, the suites with ANA. Now, last year I tried out Japan Airlines in their first class, and I absolutely loved the product. The food was great, the service was great, the chair, everything about that experience was fantastic, and I recommend anyone who can to fly on Japan Airlines to do so, even if you don't happen to be doing first class. When I flew there, it was in economy, and it was still great. I had an incredible time. The service was still fantastic. The food was really, really good. The best economy experience I've ever had. I even befriended a Japanese grandma who was super sweet on my flight over there, so I highly recommend Japan Airlines. But this is going to be a cool comparison to do with ANA versus Japan Airlines and to kind of see which one ends up being the better airline flying over to Japan. Now, when flying on a premium product, it starts even before you get on the aircraft. So ANA does have lounges in America, such as like in Honolulu, but unfortunately they don't have a lounge here in Chicago O'Hare. However, since they are part of Star Alliance, if you are flying a premium seat, then you end up getting yourself access to different Star Alliance lounge partners. United is partnered with ANA in Star Alliance, so this is what's going to allow me to get access to the United Polaris Lounge. Polaris Lounge is one of the best lounges that you can end up accessing when it comes to like American domestic airline lounges. So this is going to be a nice experience to try the one out here in Chicago O'Hare. So I'm going to go head over to that right now. Here in the Polaris Lounge, and I gotta say this one here is pretty nice. I love these chairs. They're like, I guess, somewhat private, even though you can look out there and see everything, but there's still walls on both sides. Very comfortable, little desk here on the side, nice lamp. It's very empty in here too, as compared to other lounges. That's one of the nice things about when you go to either business or first class lounges, is that there always tends to be a decent amount of space because not that many people are going to be flying in business or first class as compared to if you happen to have Priority Pass, which seems like everyone has it now because you can just get it from getting a credit card. The cool thing about the Polaris Lounge, as compared to some of the other lounges that maybe you've been to, it's not just only buffet style here. They actually have a dine-in restaurant where you can sit down and they give you a menu and you can order off the menu. And I would prefer something like that over just the buffet style. I mean, listen, if you're gonna give me the buffet style over nothing, 100% I'm happy with the buffet style. But I would prefer having a sit-down a la carte restaurant where I can order things off the menu and have things be set up in a meal that I'm more familiar with. So that's one thing that's really, really cool about this lounge as compared to many of the other lounges out there. This lounge is also pretty quiet. That's one of the great things you get about being in here as compared to just being out near your gate, is that it is so loud. There's so much movement going on out there. Right here, I'm just comfortable, relaxing in the seat, not trying to fight for charger ports or any of that type of stuff. I mean, you'll see people out there who are like lying down on the ground. I don't have to do any of that stuff anymore like I used to when I was traveling a few years ago. So this is the beautiful thing about being able to access these type of lounges. Now, I do still have a few hours before my flight, so what I'm gonna do here in the Polaris Lounge is first, I'm gonna take a shower because I did not take one this morning, so I definitely wanna be clean when I'm going on this 13.5-hour flight. And then after, I'm going to check out that dining. And then also I might just lie down because they have like a little resting area. So I might do that for maybe, I don't know, half an hour or so before the departure. Wow, I must say, I'm a pretty big fan of this washroom here at the Polaris Lounge. I mean, this is definitely a nice place to clean yourself up if you happen to be taking a long flight like I am myself. So I would highly recommend for anyone who is going to be in the Polaris Lounge to take advantage of this if you happen to not shower beforehand, because you don't want to be all sweaty for your extended flight over to another country. All right, time for me to wash up. Whew. Alrighty, so now I'm all cleaned up from my shower, and this is the day bed in the United Polaris Lounge. So how these work is that you can book them for an hour at a time and get yourself a nice nap before your departure. For me, this is something that I definitely feel like is going to be needed right before my flight. I still have a couple of hours before I have my takeoff. And if you happen to book for an hour and no one is waiting for you in line, you can stay in here for an extended amount of time. It just all comes on a first come, first served basis, but I'm definitely gonna take a nice little quick, maybe 30, 45-minute power nap, so that I can be completely well rested before hopping on the plane. I love how they make this nice and warm. All right, so I have taken a shower here, taken a nap here, and also eaten here at the Polaris Lounge. The food that I just had at the Polaris dining section definitely felt like being at a restaurant. There was only 10 tables, and there was 4 staff members that I've seen at least, and also a manager that was working around the tables. So it just shows how much attention that they're giving to their customers. There was like a couple of drunk German women who knocked over a few glasses, and they just quickly cleaned it up. And there were people who did have to wait, so if you are someone who is coming to this, then just know that there is a limited amount of tables. So there may end up being like a line if you decide to come. I didn't have to wait when I came. I got the pork meal, I also had some champagne. I love the glass that they set up the champagne in. It's really nice and, you know, very elegant. And definitely try out that dessert. Now, I'm not a sweets person, but I figured I would just give it a try to give you my experience with it. And it's really good. So you have ice cream, and then on the bottom, it's like a fresh baked cookie. Very, very tasty. So they kept on asking me if I wanted more champagne. I only had the one glass because I know that there's going to be higher quality drinks when I end up getting on the ANA first class flight. So I want to be able to taste those out and not be too drunk by the time I get on the plane and then just pass out for the entire flight. I will say that I am pretty full, so hopefully when the time comes to jump on the plane, I'm not going to be too full to be able to try all the nice cuisines on ANA, but I think I'll be okay. But the food here was just so good. I wanted to take full advantage of it, and I would say do the same if you have the opportunity. it's hard for the video to do justice for how big this TV is. This thing is massive. I mean, look at this thing. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this is going to be great for watching films for the next 13 hours on this flight, going over to Japan. But yeah, this is a beautiful, comfortable seat. I mean, just definitely blown away sitting in this thing. It's fantastic. So the cool thing is that they give you free Wi-Fi when you are flying in first class. I still don't know exactly why they don't give you free Wi-Fi in business class if you happen to be paying for it. Business class can end up being like $3, $4, maybe even more $1,000 each way. So to not be able to get Wi-Fi, which is like what, $25, it's kind of strange. So there's a lot of different amenities that they came around, asking me which ones I wanted. There's things such as like eye coverings for when you go to sleep and all this other stuff. The only things I asked for was some lip balm. Sometimes you get chapped lips. And then also I got some socks. I thought would be nice to have. So I'm gonna have those. So then when I put on my slippers and pajamas, it's gonna be nice to just have those socks, keeping my feet nice and warm. Although I will say this plane is decently warm. Like the last flight I was on, I was freezing. This one, I'm wearing a sweatshirt and I feel like I need to take it off already. But it's probably gonna be really comfortable when I end up getting in the pajamas. So I'm someone who likes it a little warm, and even myself, I'm like, oh, this is decently warm, but it's cold out right now. It's January, and we're in Chicago, so maybe they're just trying to keep it a little bit warmer. I've heard people complain about when it comes to international flights going over to Asia, they do have it a little warmer. The only flight I've ever had where I noticed it being really warm was flying from Madrid on Iberia. This one is not as hot as that, and it is also not anywhere near as hot outside as it was when I was flying on Iberia. You could easily wear shorts and a t-shirt in this aircraft and be completely comfortable. So even though I am wearing my nice Japanese sweatshirt, I'm probably gonna end up taking it off and then putting on some of the pajamas for the majority of the flight. End up being more comfortable. When it comes to the staff coming around, there's been a couple of different ladies who have been coming to me, making sure that I'm taken care of, giving me my champagne, telling me all the different things, giving me a set of headphones, which I'm eventually gonna end up using for when I'm watching TV during the flight. But right now I always like to use mine during takeoff. It's just how I am, to get my noise cancellation, blast my music. But yeah, they've been incredibly nice. I think there might only be 2 people in the first class. I know there's a guy behind me right now, and I haven't seen anyone on the other side, so we'll end up seeing. But as of right now, it's pretty empty. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get a lot of great service due to all that. It's gonna be a great flight. Alright, I put these socks on, but these socks might be too warm. My feet are sweating right now. So we are soon to take off, and I do know that here on ANA, the champagne that they offer is Krug champagne, which is really nice. I think it's like over $200 a bottle for Krug champagne, so I'm definitely going to try some of that. Also, they have Hibeki 17 if you fly in first class internationally. If you happen to be flying from like one of the main ones, or like their, I guess like their most popular flights, would being like New York and I think London, you get the Hibeki 21, which is like even rarer. Both of these bottles are going to be like stupid expensive. The 17 I think is somewhere near like $800-900, or even sometimes close to $1,000, and then the 21 is somewhere near I think like $1,200 to $1,300. So here's the different button layout on the side. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You can get yourself lay flat, a little bit adjusted, kind of like recline, and then also straight up. And then if you want to adjust it as you go, you can. But the top one will just put you right into the lay flat. And then it looks like reading lights. You can push those buttons instead of having to reach all the way over to get the lights. And the nice remote over here, so you don't have to try to get this touchscreen. I don't even know if the screen even is a touchscreen. It's so darn big that I imagine that it's probably not. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to have this remote right here where you can be able to access it and be able to choose the different things you want to watch. I'm about to look through right now to see what are the options to be able to watch for films. Also over here on the left, you have a mirror. So, hello. It's pretty interesting. So if you happen to want to do makeup or for whatever reason you want to look at yourself, you have this ability to do this right here in your seat. Thank you so much. Yes, that'd be great. It's very good. The one thing I will say about all like expensive champagnes that I've ever tasted is that the aftertaste just lasts a while, and you can just keep on tasting that very good aftertaste for a while. And that's what I love about it, which is so awesome. So that's one thing I'll give this above just regular champagne, is that the aftertaste just sticks with you. It's so tasty. Alrighty, so she just came by and took my order. There's the Japanese menu that is an option, and then also the American or Western menu is what they call it. If you're gonna fly on ANA or any of these Asian airlines, you gotta choose the Asian. You have to choose the Japanese style meals. It just makes the most sense. That's what they're gonna be the best at. I've heard people complaining before about, oh, the meal wasn't as great and they chose the Western. I'm like, why would you do that? You know, I remember I had a coach in wrestling who made fun of me for choosing a turkey burger at a burger spot. He says, you don't know how to order. If you're going to Japan or flying on a Japan Airlines, order Japanese food. But the one thing I did do was, and this is what I'd recommend, is if you want to do the caviar, get the appetizer of the Western style, which is the caviar, and then from there, after that, you get the Japanese meal. So that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to have the caviar to begin, and then from the caviar, I'll be able to have the rest of my meals be the Japanese meals. I guess this is supposed to go really nice with the crew. So this is actually really good. The Sunday one was okay. The other ones are fine. This I think it's crab, she said. It's okay. This one I did not really like. I don't know exactly what it is, but I've only had a little bit of it, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to finish it. And this is like a cheese. This is the Hibiki 17 from the movie Lost in Translation that Bill Murray goes over to Tokyo and advertises. It's the one with Scarlett Johansson in it. Very famous film, great film, love watching it. I watched it before I went to Tokyo the first time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to tasting this. Remember the famous lines he says, for relaxing time, make it Suntory time. That's smooth. Oh, that is so smooth. My goodness, that is good. Wow. I did not expect. I just had some Japanese whiskey a week ago at a dinner party, and it was all right. I was like, yeah, this is fine. It's probably going to be similar. No, this is unbelievably good. Wow, I'm not even a big whiskey drinker. I'm not even saying that because I know how much it costs. I swear it is smooth. The champagne I told you tastes very similar except for the aftertaste. This thing is smooth. Scallops at the top. We have snow crab. I forget what she said this one right here is. I know it's some shrimp and then something that's dipped in miso that tastes similar to cream cheese, she told me. Then this one's also going to be salmon along with some squid. This over here is going to be duck. So that's what we have here. Also, I feel like today I have eaten and drinking myself into almost a coma. I am ready to pass out, and they're still giving me more food. I want to eat it just so I can taste it, but I feel like I'm about to tap out now. All the food I ate at the lounge, and now the multi-course meal. It's not even big food. It's just a lot. More keeps it coming at you. I've just been eating all of it, trying to finish every single bit of it, so I'm trying to do as much as I can, but I'm probably going to crash pretty hard after all this food. But she's overfeeding me. It's like being at your grandma's house. These headphones are very clear. They're not as noise canceling as the Bose, but when it comes to the crisp audio inside of it, everything sounds good. Yeah, definitely loud, precise, but I can just hear a lot of outside noise. So I might plug in my Bose. They're not bad. I'm saying if you happen to have no headphones, these things will work out well, but I'll plug in my Bose. I think it's just going to end up being, in my opinion, a better audio experience. Looks pretty nice. The cardigan too, if you want to wear it, but it's warm enough in here that I don't feel like I need it. So, time to get some shut-eye.
Alrighty, so a review of this bed over here. It is incredibly comfortable. It just feels like there's so much space. Yeah, you don't feel like you can fall off this at all. Many other beds you kind of feel like you're stuck, but this one is very spacious. It's nice to have that door over there that you can close so you feel even more private. Yeah, and I don't know how tall you would need to be to go to the end, but I think it's quite difficult. So this is a nice space, really nice area right here. Alrighty, I just got a solid 5.5, close to 6 hours of sleep. I feel incredibly well rested. It's so nice being able to have that second area as my bed, since there's only 2 people in the first class cabin, because I have stuff just kind of spread around over here in my seat, so having to move it would have taken like a minute, but just being able to get up, walk over to the other side, be able to go to sleep over there was super nice. And it just felt like there was so much space, like definitely like a bed. You know, we all looking for the lay flat beds on a plane, but many of the times in like the business class, you're gonna feel a little bit stuck, or like you're in a cocoon. You're kind of, you can't really move. This one, I felt just like I was in a full-on bed. It was incredibly comfortable. It was so nice. Funny enough, before I even went over to that bed, I was trying to watch a movie, and the mixture of the food that I've eaten so much today, along with the multiple glasses of crude champagne and also the Hibiki 17, it just had me KO right here in my seat. But when I did, I woke up and she put a blanket on top of me. So I woke up and I had a blanket on me, and I was like, what the heck? And I don't know how long I was sitting here with the blanket on me before I realized. But then I was like, all right, it's time for me to go to sleep. So that's what made me get up, go over to that bed, and lie in that bed. And yeah, it just felt so comfortable. Thank you. It's been a gas, man.
This is very spicy, so please give me a part.
Okay. Alrighty, so I just changed back into my normal outfit and we are descending. And yeah, I gotta say, this has been an absolute first class experience. The staff has been absolutely incredible. I mean, I flew on first class with Japan Airlines and it was really good, but this definitely topped it. The food is even better than what I had on Japan Airlines, even though Japan Airlines has some really good food. But they just kept coming out with the different courses. I love the ability to get that ramen. I'm a big ramen fan, so that was great. This TV is just massive. I think that I was able to do all this for, I think it was about $230. It's just absolutely incredible. Because if you think about this flight, if you were to do the one way, it would be somewhere near like, I think it was like $13,000-ish. Round trip is somewhere near $23,000. So this would end up being close to like $1,000 an hour in the air. Yet I was able to do this for $230 one way, which is incredible. So definitely do what you can to take advantage of the points and miles game, because if you do, you can have experiences like this. Appreciate you all following me this entire time. Hopefully you enjoy this video. If you have any questions about getting yourself an ANA first class, drop it in the comment section down below and do the best I can to answer you. And if you haven't really liked this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.